One has to be able to look at the mind and see that it's dividing as it does naturally. It looks for divisions. The mind is interested in dividing. The reason it divides is so it can understand. It simply wants to have a view of what is this. Now let me break it up into pieces. That's the examination. The one, can become emotional about the divide. So if I look at if I let the if I travel with the mind into the who are you, I can find nostalgia in me for what I had been doing. That nostalgia can cause me to resent what I'm going into. I am not allowing a space for anything fresh. Do you see?
I do.
So it's to examine that the mind does that in each and every instance. It compares people's behaviors without your knowing. It is putting everything up. That's the reason you have to look at it. Because if I allow it, okay, I have to let the mind know, no, I'm not interested in that activity. So that habit, which becomes out of our control, that's the reason we label it that way. You find yourself doing it so that it is not, the seed of it is not planted. So that the seed is not planted, so it can't grow, so that I don't keep, oh man, like, well, who is he? If I can ask it about me, I'm gonna ask it about others.
Yeah.
You see, like, so that seed, and look at how it grows. Why will, if I allow myself to go into who I was then and who I am now, I am doing it to others automatically. I then begin, I can't, once the mind divides, then preference begins. That's what it's looking for in the first place, is an alignment. I want to feel good about it, right? So then you get oh, I want to feel this way. And maybe I should be doing this. That's where disobedience comes from, right? And you, the mind is trying to judge. You have to examine it, and you be the judge, not it. Not it. Because it doesn't come to conclusion properly, not never in the oneness. It does not seek to align all things into a one understanding. It will stop at the divide. The one has to push it past the divide. You see, like, always, always, always. Because the who I'm is the mind literally comparing two lines. It's not looking at a circle. And as long as that activity is there, there's conflict. Conflict only exists when there is a divide. That's what it is. So to allow your mind to look at the mind and see, oh, it divides. Now I'm not going to allow that. Means I'm not going to allow any conflict within me. It also means that I don't really. My mind is not delineating decision. I'm not allowing it to make decisions either, because it divides when it makes decisions, when it is led to make decisions. Once I clear the mind, the examination of my circumstances come to rise. My discernment is there. And everything just becomes clear. It rises. I promise you. You never have to use the brain to say, is it this or that? You examine. Look at what the brain is doing. Okay, so if the brain is like, should I resign from this place or should I stay? It is only referencing what it has experienced at that location. It has no comparison, but it's trying to compare. It doesn't know what happens once you resign. What the mind is comparing is familiar versus unknown. The person has to see that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to examine, hey, this ain't even a damn comparison. This is just fear. There is no decision. Now, so I don't, oh, so then I just go to, now where am I led? What's drawing me? And just go there. Like, just go there. don't have to do any other processes just to sit still and be like, now where do I like it lets me know. And if I make a decision with the mind, something in me says, all right, now examine that again. Each one has that mechanism working. But you have to look at the mind and say, okay, I see you dividing. I see. And I see that if I allow it, there will be a conflict that happens. I may walk away from this thought feeling like everything's fine, but in the future, there's going to be a conflict because I allowed divide in my own mind. I wanted to trust this person even though they were giving me reasons not to. Instead of being still and saying, now let me look at these actions. Now, should I continue on this path or not? Like it just comes to you. There's no like, well, this time they did this, but this what? What you're doing when you do that with the brain is you have a preference and you're trying to justify. The person, it's invisible to that person that the decision's already made. Whatever they come up with, they've just found more justification. They've just strengthened it more to make themselves feel better about continuing. But that is their desire here? Desire is conflict. There is no fear. Desire and fear are interrelated. Every time I have a desire, I fear not having it. That's a conflict. What happens if I don't get it? I'm upset. I'm angry. You see? I get emotional. Like I have to see how these processes work. So the more I want, the more conflict there is in me. But I want because I sense lack inside. Why do I feel like I'm lacking something in the first place? Why do I feel like I need something to complete me? Like these are the places we go into to see it, to see what the mind is doing. You know, like because a person when a person is looking for a mate, they're not examining their insecurity at the same time. They're just focused on their desire. Now what's in me reaching? What? Why do I have to reach? Do I have to reach? Do I want to reach? Is it better for me? These questions that actually that are about loving you. The real question. You feel me?